Okay, good evening. It is 8:51 p.m. in Malaysia. So today is the 19th of December, and here we are, 19th of December over here. So today, in this week itself, I should be doing my year in review. So that is what I'm going to do tonight. So let's get started. So first of all, let's the first thing I would like to do is to review some goals for this year. So basically, I'm actually using this Wahoo system mental training handbook or manual. So I won't go through this manual in its entirety because it's pretty much self-explanatory, and it can be obtained on the Wahoo system support page if I'm not wrong. We'll just dive straight into the goals for this year. So the major goal for this year is to complete the TAP Johor 2023 and finish uh, the entire 140-kilometer ride which I signed up for in 5 hours, and to finish within the top 25%, as you can see on the screen. And some other key goals which I set myself to for 2023 is to complete each stage of the Tour of Swaziland TOS in 2023 within a set time frame, and also to do all the workouts on every stage at 100% intensity. Besides that, the other key goal which I did set myself to is to ride a minimum of 3,500 kilometers for 2023, alongside signing up for the Conquer 2023 challenge, as well as the Great Wall of China Long Challenge. And last but not least, of course, the this one goal which I also set myself for this year is which is to uh, increase my overall average 4DP metrics by 15% by the end of this year. And I did the 4DP full frontal test just over the weekend. So we will go into some of these reviews in just a moment's time. So with that out of the way, let's go straight into the first thing, which is my main goal on the Letap Johor. Computer is a little bit laggy tonight. I'm not sure why. Probably because I'm also recording this on the laptop. So in for the tab, my goal was to finish within 5 hours. As you can see clearly over here, I've missed the target by 26 minutes, and that was all because of some cramps which I had towards the end of the 140-kilometer ride, as well as IT band pain, which impacted the entire ride. I would say more like it really impacted towards the last quarter of the ride. The seat post was just slipping down into the seat tube for God knows what reason. I'm not sure why. Um, but yeah, I managed to get it fixed already. And also my goal was also to finish within the top 25% of the 140-kilometer race. And unfortunately, again, I didn't hit the mark. I finished in the top 60%. So my final ranking was 550 out of total 910 male participants. I I did not go through the entire list of the 140-kilometer ride, which includes both male and females. But I think I shouldn't be that far off from the 50%, the top 50%, if that's the case. So yeah, with that out of the way, I think overall pretty good experience for the Tap Johor. Lots to take away. And yeah, I think the goal of 5 hours was actually quite realistic without considering that I did pull it off with 5 hours and 26 minutes. I think 5 hours is pretty reasonable in that sense. But in terms of the finishing position, the overall ranking, I think it was a little bit too optimistic, I would say. So I think if the next round, if I were to go for any major cycling events like another tab, I'll probably set myself a slightly more attainable goal in this case. Probably within the top 50%, I think would be nice. Okay, so with the tab done, the next thing is, yes, Tour of Sufferlandia. So for Tour of Sufferlandia, it happened earlier this year in March. So the first ride was cash register. It was 7 rides, 7 days in a row. Sorry. So started off with cash register, and then revolver, and then attacker. There were 3 rides I did altogether on the first day. So cash register, revolver, and attacker, all done at 100% intensity. Then followed by the second day, which is the uh, Rabbit Mountain, 100% interval, and on location ride on the third stage. And then for the fourth stage, it was the Tour of Swiss, the women's Tour of Swiss pro ride. And then on the fifth stage, if I'm not wrong, I think this is the fifth stage because the first 3 rides is a combination of, I think, the first 2 stages, if I'm not wrong. Then I did this stage on the 16th of March. Excuse me. It's a week with the UCI World Cycling Center, the UCC, the UCI WCC. Sorry, so I forgot which race exactly this was, but I think it was it's either the mountain or maybe the road race, and then followed by another ride on the back to back rides on the 17th. I think that was using uh RGT. RGT is now no longer active. It has been banished by Wahoo. So yeah, so yep. Overall, I would say the Tour of Sufferlandria was a pretty good experience. My first time doing the Tour of Sufferlandria, pretty challenging. As all may, I mean, as most of my rides are done after working hours in the evening, so coming back from work and doing these workouts after work is pretty taxing on the body, I would say. But nevertheless, managed to complete all of it at 100% intensity is just remarkable. So yeah, a big pat to myself on this for completing this goal which I set for myself. Okay, so that's about the tours of Philandria. So next would be ride a minimum of 3,500 kilometers and sign up for the Conquer 2023 and the Great Wall of China long challenge. So this one we'll go back to the browser again. Okay, uh, let's go through the distances first. Okay, so for the distances for 2023, I've actually clocked more than 3,500 kilometers. I think it's close to about 3,600 already. Throughout this whole year, as you can see, in January I did like a total 233, and February 520, and so on and so forth. The most distance was clocked actually in May, with 860 kilometers, and just up until last week on Saturday, where I did the 4DP full frontal test. For December itself, I've already clocked like 211 kilometers. So yeah, already way past the goal. So for the 2 challenges which I've actually set myself up for, the page is loading. Okay, so for this year alone, yes, I have already completed 3,568 kilometers so far. But this is just on the Conqueror challenge. But on the Garmin Connect page, it is totaling up everything in for the year. So it's definitely more than 3,568 for this year. So for 2023, Conquer 2023, I have completed it. I think since last week, if I'm not wrong, together with the Great Wall of China, these two challenges I've set myself up for this year. Yeah, so pretty successful. I've already received the medals for both of these two challenges, which I'm quite happy with especially for the Great Wall of China. The medal is just awesome. Okay, and I've received the 2023 medal, which is right here. This is the Conquer 2023 medal. Pretty cool. Yeah. So that's about the distance challenges and the virtual challenges for this year. And last but not least is the average 4DP metrics. Uh, yeah, this is also one of the goals which I didn't really achieve for this year, for the 15% increase in the overall metrics average for the all the metrics. But nevertheless, in terms of just the uh, on the 16th, I did the 4DP test. I'm reviewing all my numbers over here. There's nothing for me to hide. I'm not afraid to hide. I'm not ashamed to share my not so great power numbers. So yeah. So all in all, over here, if we compare from 2023 to my last 4DP test in 2022, uh, these values actually went up by quite quite a good margin, I would say. On average, I've counted over here is about, let's see, it's about 9.5 percent increase in my overall matrices. So I think it's not too bad to per se for someone who is not really an elite cyclist or anything like that. I've only started cycling back in 2014 if I'm not wrong. So over the last 9 years, uh, I've only started training with power since 2020. So to see the increase from 150 over watts of FTP to about almost 180, it's quite good, I would say. And training is actually very sufficient. So although I did not hit the average of 15% increase for my 4DP metrics, but I still managed to hit uh, close to 10% in this case. Pretty happy with it. So I think moving forward for next year, one of the goals, if to I mean, the 4DP metrics would be definitely one of the goals I will set again for next year. Instead of setting to 15%, I think setting a goal of an increase of 8% would be pretty fair. I would say 5 to 8% is pretty fair. The only thing which I think I didn't do that well this time for my is the AC, the anaerobic capacity. One key thing I would take away is to not start with too hard a gear, expecting to last that 1 minute, because in it is inevitable to that the power will definitely fade, because after doing a 5 minute test followed by a 20-minute test, and the last test is a 1 minute test, uh, yeah, it's just not realistic to just start with such a high gear. I think moving forward, if I would when I do my next 4DP test at the end of next year, I will definitely do half yearly kind of 4DP test. But for my year end 4DP test next year, I would definitely not start with such a high gear for the 1 minute interval, which is the final interval for the entire test. So that should wrap up my year for 2023. Yes, that's all for my goals for 2023. So that's a wrap for this year. Uh, the next thing on schedule that I will need to do is to do a MTP 2024, and also a goal setting for 2024, which should be right after Christmas. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so that's it. Till next time.